Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit, and it's another deadly day, because it's time to take on another of the Calamity stages. But, in fact, not before we go back to Sender Unknown. It's had its reward availability restored. Just now, as I went on to the Battle Cats, it wasn't there the first minute I went on, the next minute, bam, there, rewards, great. And I've been gifted 5 cat CPUs, which actually might be quite useful, depending on how much of a spoon I am. So I will accept them and thank my boosted ramens for doing a good job in defeating the level there. And we'll move on into what we're doing today. So, today's Calamity stage is Little Fish Awakens. And this one is reported to be a bit like Crazed Fish, but on steroids. Now that's good, because if it was anything like Manic Island, I would cry. It's the most hateful, horrible stage that I've completed, apart from probably no Plan A, although it's up there. Of course, I still can't do Debut of the Dead, but Ogre Island was horrendous. Berserk-ory, Manic Islands everywhere. I don't want to relive that, because I definitely won't be able to do it, because the only way I managed to do it was eventually by lots of trying and through Uber carrying, which we can't do in a Calamity stage because it's got 4-star restrictions. So without further ado, I'm going to press New. I almost said Attack because I was just so ready to get into the stage, you know, not like I can't navigate the menus of Battle Cats I've been playing for several years. Anyway, this is a slot that I am going to be using. Now, this is the Chilola strategy, which I've recently seen in the video, with one notable change. Now, Chilola uses little awakened tanks, so little eraser. I don't have that. I didn't have time to do the level. Maybe I couldn't have even done it anyway. But instead, because actually it looks like through the level you can get a decent amount of monies, I have substituted in a different cat, and hopefully with the level that it is, it will help us to win. If it doesn't, it will just look like a forced meme, which I promised it's not. It's supposed to be strategy, so hopefully this will work. The rest of the slot will be more easily explained within battle, so that's exactly what I'm going to go into. It's advisable to have the rich cat, and I'm also going to bring along a cat CPU, just in case, for the second part of the battle, where it gets a little bit hairy. So, let's press attack, and into the battle we go. Right. So this is a beach, and no CPU, bad. We've got a double research up combo. That's to help us get out our cats, as you'd expect. And the other stuff is for various points throughout the battle. Catasaurus is for later. If you know what's in the level, you know why it's here. But here is our first little awakened little island thing. It's already here, just chilling, you know. And the first thing to do, I'd probably say, is save up for an Aruran cat. That looks like what most people do, so that's what I'm going to do as well, because, you know, the most people I've seen videos of are people who can actually play Battle Cats, so that's encouraging. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So it seems like Boosted Ramen, along with Jiangxi, are actually acting quite well as meat shields. I'm glad, because I thought this might not work. We also have the awakened legs, which I guess will just stand behind and do damage like a normal macho legs would in any other stage. And we can spam it relatively often, especially with the research up combos. Not that we're getting much cash at the moment, we don't seem to be killing them that quickly. And I'm worried because Aruran's shadow hitbox, yeah, is quite far forward and can probably be hit quite easily. So I'm just going to stick to meat shielding at the moment. Then when we get cash injections from killing the little islands, I'll get Bahamut as well, because there's a lot of them, and that's concerning. Right, it's not enough quite yet. Getting there, and Bahamut, good, right. And then we'll start injecting some other things into the battle, and hopefully, if I can keep spamming, which, you know, is a lot harder for me than it seems to be for everybody else, we'll be able to get past this first part of the battle. But as with Ogre Island, the first part with loads of island things isn't the hardest bit of the level. Luckily, this one doesn't contain a waving nightmare like Berserk-ory, but it still does contain a more difficult second part. So we're going to use this as an opportunity to build up our army and also our monies to full. Then we will advance towards the base and engage the second part of the battle, which will be hectic, probably, but then maybe we'll get through it, who knows? Boosted Ramen is working a treat along with Jiangxi, which of course can survive the lethal strikes, come back and then get killed again. It's a sweet life for Jiangxi, really, so got enough monies to engage a few of our extra cats, not Catasaurus, because at the moment that will serve absolutely no purpose. There's a lot of them now, that's a lot of islands chomping at me, that's essentially like the Caribbean right there, lots of different islands, and Urun's dead. Bahamut hopefully won't die now that Urun's dead. I'd really rather he didn't. But oh dear, our cat supplies seem to be thinning out quite a lot. The expensive nature of my meat shields has not ended well. Bother. Bother, 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 bother. Right, this time I've got myself more meat shielding. Now you may think, Regit your spoon, that's not the way you're supposed to do it. Get rid of boosted ramen, it's useless. Maybe it is, but I'm going to try it this way anyway, because although I am a spoon, I'm a spoon who wants to succeed in some way. So, because we've got our research up combos, Little Mohawk Cat, which ordinarily has a longer recharge time, actually has the same recharge time as all the other stuff. So we'll be able to spam that just as often. We've omitted the legs. It probably helped in some capacity, but I guess, you know, maybe not enough. Maybe not as much as more meat shielding would do, because I think that's where I went wrong. I tried my best spamming, and my terrible spamming skills aren't going to get any better, but I think if I have more things to at least try and spam, maybe that will work a little bit better. And so I'm going to do it this way, with more meat shielding, one of which is a lot cheaper than the rest of it, so I'll be able to keep spamming it, and then hopefully I'll be fine. I just got to remind myself that my meat shielding's a lot more expensive than it ordinarily would be, and so really not to buy anything else, because this is all I can really do, and just hopefully, if I concentrate on spamming the cats, we'll be fine. And so on that note of concentration, let's live out this spamming session in a time lapse. It didn't occur to me before, but I've realised because the meat shielding is actually so expensive, even at a maximum level worker cat, we're actually making a loss for every round of meat shielding we're doing, i.e. the worker cat we started with before doing that round of meat shielding, it's actually less afterwards. The amount that it increases due to the worker cat level isn't enough. And that's why I keep not having enough monies. And I need to spam properly, I know. But please just accept that I can't do it properly. And let's just hope that even though there's a lot of these things here, we can weather the storm and be alright. Right, so now what we have is 2 Uruns and 2 Bahamuts, and we're getting closer to the base. We've broken out from the initial being stuck with the loads of islands stage, and now we're all the way out here, relatively close to the base. And I'm going to start using Catasaurus because we're going to need it as soon as the boss comes out the base. And yeah, deploy limit. Great. Can you not, though? I'd rather not you deploy limit me, because then I'll get... Oh, wrong cats. I'll get completely destroyed, and then it won't go at all well, and that'll be bad. Right. Boss is coming out all the time. That doesn't stop. They keep coming out. Bit like All-Star. They don't stop coming. But, yeah. There's also going to be another thing coming out the base. Namely that! The Super Metal Hippo. And now I'm going to activate the CPU, and that evidently doesn't work. Let's just try our best to spam properly. This is Spoon we're talking about here, so it probably won't work. But we got dual Bahamuts, it's fine. And we got Jurassic Cat, so as long as we're not unlucky with the critical hits, we should be alright. I have a feeling like we might be, because it's me, and, you know, Battle Cat's luck isn't really a thing. But there was a critical hit. We've knocked it back. That's good news. Wrong cats again, Regit. Stop doing that. But I think the sheer amount of legends we have and the abundance of Catosauruses mean that we might actually be able to do this. It's being knocked back. The Shake My Head SMH Super Metal Hippo is being knocked back, and I keep spamming Necromancer Cat for some reason, but it's dead. It's gone. We've actually killed it. And there's a lot of, you know, the islands. So I'm going to let CPU take over from here, otherwise it's rather a wasted item. And I mean, although I have a lot of them, you know, I'd like to find some use from it. I'm going to sort of sit back in my chair and relax as the CPU wins the battle for us. Hopefully. We've done most of the work now. They will still come out of the base, but now that we're on the base, they shouldn't have too much of an effect. And we should... What's that word that never happens in a deadly stage for me? Oh yes, win! We might win! We're getting the base lower and lower in its health. 300,000 health, almost. Come on. A flurry of critical hits there. They're moving forward a little bit, which is concerning. CPU's not actually doing much, just help it along in its way so you don't get knocked back and killed. I'd really rather that doesn't happen. Bahamut lands a hit, 30,000 health left on the base, and that is it! We have completed Tiny Fins, and the little fish cat's true form, again without an apostrophe, has been acquired, evolve after reaching level 20, and energy, good, excellent, cat food, great. Let's go and see the cat. And here it is, little whale cat with that wonderful available evolve. Let's click it now. And here it is, little island cat, a tiny guy with dreams of becoming that cat who can perfect his form while on vacation. Strong against red enemies, might critical. Good. Strange wording, but good. Got it. I've actually done a level with a partial Regit strat. Yeah. Boosted ramen.